Because as soon as we have that moment of insight, that little bit of a door that's open that can crack open our firmly held beliefs on something, now there's room for psychological flexibility. Now there's room for growth. Now there's room for a new, upgraded mindset or perception around something. So then I started to look at, okay, so if I'm sitting with, it's actually around how I'm perceiving stress in my life. It's not about how much I'm doing. That actually started to feel really like liberating, because the perception on how I'm perceiving stress, that's really something that I get to control. And I get to create stressors that feel good and make sure that I'm perceiving any kind of stress that might be coming in as eustress. And we can choose perspectives on our stress. So say we have some like massive failure, right? Like in our businesses or something like that, whatever it might be. Like, okay, maybe a launch flops, or we have a client who I don't know, like a client that is like unhappy or wants to end their package or something like that. We can perceive that as distress, and then it starts to cause the spiral. And we're like, okay, it feels overwhelming, or I can't do this, or, I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever the narrative starts to come up around that. But if we actually reframe that stress into use stress, something that's positive, something that we can use for our growth, we can then look at that thing and use everything for our learning. And so now we become kind of unstoppable, because there's nothing outside of ourselves that is going to get in the way of us continuing to grow and move towards our goals. We don't have to treat ourselves like this like delicate little flower that might break if we put too much time in. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not advocating for 12, 14-hour days of work. I'm just saying that we don't have to worry about that, and we can do that if we want, and we don't have to do that if we want, but we don't have to put these like self-imposed barriers on ourselves to be like, the only way I can be successful is if I have my 4-hour morning routine. I only do this much, and I don't ever stress myself out.